Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kendell Lenice Live. This is going to be a great panel today. You all know that I do a lot of panels. This one is slightly different. Let me introduce myself for those that don't know me, and you're on here because of these amazing people you see here. I'm Kendell Lenice. I'm a transformational life coach, speaker, and author. And I use my platform to educate, elevate, and entertain you. I decided to do a Black authors panel today because as an author, I first became a published author in 2005. And I know it's difficult for a lot of authors, new and experienced authors, to get the visibility they need to sell their books and promote their books. Because what does it matter the words that you try to use to write a book, meaning that if you have a lot of great things to say, right? But if no one knows you have a book, then how are they going to purchase the book? And a lot of people want to get out there to say, hey, I'm an author. This is my book. This is an important message. But it's hard to get on different shows, different platforms to do that. So I wanted to do my small part just to introduce you all to some amazing writers, some new authors and some experienced authors. So without further ado, I want to introduce my guest to you, but I'm going to take this moment quickly. This is a live show, so I'm going to take this moment quickly just to post this on Facebook so your people can know, because social media is big for visibility, right? So I'm just going to take it. Yes. So I'm just going to, and then I'm going to introduce you all. And y'all pray for me because I don't feel well today. And normally I'm just stuffed up. And I prayed before this. I hope everything comes out all right. Don't even worry about me if I come. As long as y'all buy their books, that's all that matters. But the show must go on.
That's right. Absolutely.
Putting it on Facebook right now. I'll go back and change it later, but it's on my Facebook page if you want to share that. Everybody can see that. All right. So thank you, everybody. All right. All right, we got some comments already. We only been on like 5 seconds. All right, so I'm glad that you all are commenting on here. That's awesome. So if you have any questions, we will table the questions, and I'm talking to the viewers. If you have any questions, I will take those at the end. If you have a question for a particular author, just make sure you put it in the comment section and we'll go from there. But I want to handle the business first, and that's introducing my guest. I'm not sure how you're seeing it. Let me see how you're seeing it so I could see a better judgment. Okay, it looks like I want to introduce Mr. Brett E. Thomas. I want you to tell me your name, where you're from, how long you've been an author, and the title of your latest book.
All right,
this is a lot to remember, and if this is your first book.
Okay, my name is Brett E. Thomas. I'm from Hardyville, South Carolina. I started writing books back in 2018, and I've written 6 books so far. And my latest book is a hair health book called, oh, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, let me hold it in front of me. It's called Top Tier Waves, the Wave Bible. It's all about hair health, how to get and maintain waves. And it's available on Amazon. They're available on Barnes & Noble, hard copies. We have glossy hardcovers on Barnes & Noble.
Now, Brett, yeah. We ain't doing all that yet. I asked you, we ain't doing all that yet.
Okay. I got excited.
Again, what is your name, brother? Where are you from? What is the title of your latest book? And if this is your first book or not. We're going to get to that. Trust me.
Okay. All right, so I'm done then. Yeah, Surefire Youth, the Top Tier Waves Wave Bible. And let's see, how about that? Can they see it now?
Yeah.
All right.
That's good. We're gonna get into all that definitely. But he's like, you know what? This might be my last chance. I'm gonna
Hey,
everything
let's
in,
go.
in case my internet goes out. So he even called me today. He was like, let me just make sure. So he
Top of the
was
morning.
already
Top of the morning. Top of the morning.
ready to go. Ready to go. All right. So I'm looking down because I have the other device because it's the way that we see it, it doesn't look like that way to the audience. So then we have Tamika Shalon. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much. I am
welcome.
Tamika Shalon. I am here in the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, born and raised Washington, DC, currently residing in Maryland. The title of my book is From Trauma to Triumph, Healing the Unspoken Wounds. This is my debut book, 2021. Super excited. Thanks for having me, Kendell.
You are so welcome. It's my pleasure. All right, next I have Brenda Hindi. And do you remember everything? Okay.
I think so. I'm gonna go for it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Brenda Hindi. I am originally from New Jersey, grew up in Miami, currently residing in Orlando, Florida. This is my debut book. As you can see it here on the screen, it's called The Blueprint Project. It's an advice and self-discovery journal for melanin girls on the path to womanhood. And it was created this year.
Yes, look at all these melanin girls. Look at this. All right. So next we have Miss Francia Gardner. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me, Kendell. My name is Francia Gardner, and I am from Dallas, Texas. And I published my first edition of my book in 2019. And so it is titled, Mommy and Daddy, Do You Still Love Me Anymore?
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to get into what that's about. Nice. Welcome. All right, who do I have? I have Miss Sabrina Smith. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so where are you from? What's the title of your book? And is this your first book?
I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but I reside in Philadelphia. This is my first book. I started it in 2015, and it's called Daddy's Little Secret.
I knew, when you sent that to me, I was like, that could be a whole lot right there. I said, I don't know what it is, but it just, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, do I want to open it or not? You know what I mean? Like, this might be heavy. All right, and let's see who we have. My brother, Leroy Mackenzie Jr. Y'all seen him on my channel a million times. He's been a part of so many panels. We do our show together as well. So welcome, Leroy.
Good people. Let's see. My name, Leroy Mackenzie Jr. The impact builder, gotta always attach that to it. Where I'm from. Ain't that what Anthony Hamilton said? Where I'm from.
Coming from where I'm from. Look, about three people are from where I'm from, because I'm from a lot of places. A few people, I was like, okay.
But I am from Baltimore, Maryland, and reside in Baltimore, Maryland. The title of my latest book is, I think you see it behind me, it's actually an anthology. I'm a part of an anthology. There are about 12 of us, 12 men. The title of it is I Can't Breathe. I mean, the soul of a man, I can't breathe. But it's us telling our stories, talking about manhood, those different things that we deal with, that we've dealt with in our journey as men. And this is my 10th book. My 10th book. So I don't have a copy. It is we're in the pre-order stage, so I don't actually have a copy of it here with me tonight. So, but I got it in the backdrop with me.
That's quite all right. All right, so all right, Tanya Lewis, you are up next, my dear.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited about being here.
Welcome.
But this is my second book right here that I wrote. And I published both of my books. I wrote 2 books, but this is my latest book that I wrote. I'm from Selma, Alabama, but I'm originally from Miami, Florida, but Selma is where I reside. But the title of my book is Customer Service in You, and I also work a workbook to go along with this book.
Nice. It's so many connections already. I heard Miami a couple times, Baltimore, the DMV area, Jersey. Like, we're connecting. I know we got some folks down in South Carolina with Brett. Because you know, a Black folks gonna be in South Carolina somewhere.
Absolutely.
You know, somebody's relative. I used to be jealous. I was raised in South Jersey, and I used to be jealous when all the people would say, I'm going down south for the summer. Because I didn't have nobody to go down south to see. I was like, I thought it was so cool.
Fun zone.
Yeah, I'm going down south. I'd be like, dang, all my people now up north.
But Brett, I will say my family is from South Carolina. So you're not mom and dad's side. So
I told you.
All right.
So So next we have Dr. Monica Y. Jackson. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Kendell, for having me, and good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Monica Y. Jackson, and the Y is there because there's a lot of Monica Jackson distinguished myself. This is not my first book. I am the author of Wounds of Wisdom, and I am originally from Los Angeles, California, and I currently still reside about 40 minutes east of Los.
East of what? You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, get a little closer to your mic.
Yeah.
Hear me better here? Is this better?
Yes, that is
better.
Okay. Hi, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity, Kendell. My name is Dr. Monica Y. Jackson, and I currently reside in California, Southern California. I have been born and raised in Los Angeles, and the name of my book is Wounds of Wisdom. And I wrote my first book, published book, in 2003. So I've written several other books.
Nice. Welcome.
Thank you.
Next, we have Alicia A. Reed. Welcome, Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia A. Reed. I am from Charleston, South Carolina. I published my first book in July of last year. I have 4 published books. My latest book I published September of this year, and the title is A Memory of Surviving Inspirational Quotes and Poems with the 30-Day Journal. This book is to take anyone on a inspirational journey of how dementia plays with the mind, and it just helps to give encouragement with anyone who's suffering with dementia or who's working around the disability, and it just takes you on a 30-day journey.
Nice. Welcome. That's a lot of people that can be useful for a lot of people. Next, I have Rolanda St. Felix. Welcome, Turbin.
Hi, guys. Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. Obviously, my name is Rolanda St. Felix. I am from the Bronx, New York.
Yeah.
Born and raised, and my first book is entitled Purposeful Growth. It's a poetry book, and I wrote it in September, on my birthday, actually, September of 2020. So I've been an author for officially a year and 2 months.
Nice. Yes, that's so
Love
awesome.
that poetry.
I love the butterfly.
So we have Francine Houston.
Oh.
Welcome.
Oh, hi. My name is Francine Houston. I live in Lansing. I'm from Lansing, Michigan. I'm from Mount Morris, Michigan. And my latest book is called Everyday Heroes. It's a self-care guide. I've been writing since 2016. My first book was Lupus Journey.
Nice. Welcome. And finally, we have Jamie Watkins. Welcome, Jamie.
Hi, people. Always a pleasure, Kendell. So thank you for having me again. And shout out to all of the authors here. And I'm from New Jersey, born and raised, but I'm residing right now in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. And my book is called My Piece of Happy. That's PEACE. And this is my first book, and she just came out this year.
Yay!
All right.
Wonderful. And it was a bestseller on Amazon. All your posts and everything. That is so awesome. And everybody, I just want to say, you know, congratulations to everybody, because I've been writing my whole life. I've had, you know, books out, still have books out. And so many people always say, I wanted to write a book. And I do book writing workshops virtually and in person for everyone to get their story out, because I'm a firm believer that everyone has a story in them, and there's the market for everyone. Everyone needs to hear your story in a different way. So I do workshops. I've been doing writers workshops for years to help publish books and get them out there. So when I say I have a passion for writers and for people to tell their stories, I'm not just saying that. If you're moving around, if you can put your mic on Francine, if you can put your mic on.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. So I do have a passion for writers and new authors and helping people tell their stories, because if it's up here and God gave it to you, then it needs to come out. And a lot of books that sound like they were testimonials, and those are so powerful. When you tell your stories, you encourage other people and give them the courage to tell their story. All right, so I want to ask this question to everyone. And if your name's not called, please don't answer for them or don't chime in, because I want each person to get their shine. Is that okay? Nobody cut each other off, and nobody say something during someone else's time. We good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I want to go to Franchia first. What made you decide to become an author?
Well, I just have a lot to say. Like you were talking about, everybody has a story, and I've just been through a lot of trauma that I've overcome. And so I just felt like my story can inspire, motivate, and just really just help somebody maybe going through a similar situation to just know that they can make it to the other side. And secondly, the story was written to my children. So it was actually like a personal note to them.
Nice. And you dedicated your book to your children. I do that too. As young, I have girls in their 20s, and I think that's so important for them to hear a part of your story and to pass on healing and growth. As a coach, I'm just passionate about healing, especially in our community, and I'm passionate about parents telling their children their stories. Mm-hmm. So I love that. Why did you decide to dedicate it to them?
So I tell our story basically, right? We have been separated, and they're currently adopted. So I birthed them into the world, but they're currently adopted to another family, and I don't really have contact with them. So I wrote this story for, you know, that one day when, you know, they'll have the opportunity to get the book, see the book, and know that, hey, mom is thinking about me for a long time. They're not. I just wanted them to know that, you know, and then also, really to encourage other children who have been adopted or in foster care to just say, hey, you know, your biological parents, they're thinking about you. You weren't abandoned. You're still loved and cared for.
And that's so important. That's so important. So thank you so much for sharing that with them. And hopefully, you know, everything happens the way that it's supposed to happen. So Leroy, I'll give you everybody's email, because I don't want everybody trying to do that and somebody might get disconnected. So I'll give you a copy of everybody's email as far as with the chat. All right. So the next person I'm going to go to is Tamika Shalon. Tell me why you wanted to become an author.
So I can really think back over 10, 15 years of initially having a desire to be an author. My undergraduate degree is in broadcast journalism, communications, so writing, speaking, and that was 1999 when I got my first degree. So I always wanted to be an author, loved journaling and writing. But why did I become an author this year? That is a whole nother story. Certainly wasn't expecting it to happen. Definitely didn't think it was going to be from trauma to triumph. 100% God, Holy Spirit instructed. 2020 was a year of self-discovery, healing, every Thursday, 5 p.m. on my therapist's sofa. Of course, we went into the pandemic, so it was telehealth. And out of that, I journaled my journey. And I remember hearing God speak to me around August and said, write the book. And I said, absolutely not. Because we're dealing with the unspoken wounds. Give me a minute to speak on it with my therapist, process it, get through it. He said, tell your story. So literally, that is how I became an author this year, because I started writing and putting the pieces together in August of last year.
I love that. I love that, because sometimes God will talk to us to do something. We will be like Scooby-Doo, like, huh? Like, what? You want me to tell everybody, like everybody my business?
This was between me, you, God, and the therapist. He got time. So that was the whole world. So that's how I became an author.
I think that's so awesome. And, you know, everybody knows I use my platform too. And I say that all the time. Like, we have to start sharing our stories. And not judging, but loving on people who share their stories, because it's not always easy. And we go through our testimonies and we're tested so we can show the power of God, to show that we made it through. And now let me show you, almost an instructional manual, you know. So everybody is not called to share their entire story, but there are a few of us who are called to do that. So thank you for answering the call.
Yes.
For sure. So if you're watching, I just want to acknowledge you. I see you all in the comments. Thank you so much. Support begins support. She said, I love the transparency. She said that starting with Franchère. And awesome. Excellent. So you all watching, definitely share this, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, but share this to someone who is maybe a budding author, or they're thinking about writing a book. Or if you're thinking about writing a book, put that in the comments as well. I'm going to go to Jamie. Jamie, why did you want to become an author? Because you have a book out this year for actually not even a month old. So why did you want to be an author?
I didn't. So I totally related to Tamika. You already know, Kendell, my story, but yeah, God gave me a vision of me coming off a stage and signing my books 3 years ago. And I was like, okay, one day. And so I just journaled every day to try to manifest this, right? I'm a best-selling author, but I never really believed it. I was kind of waiting for this moment where he was just gonna make me feel like I was, and it was gonna happen. And that didn't happen. That's not how God did it. He just kind of pretty much, I tried to do everything else around that vision, not feeling like my story was going to be enough. And so he finally just kind of stopped everything else from blooming and kind of halted me. And I'm like, okay, God, wait, what's going on? And he's like, you didn't do what I told you. I was like, right, the book. Okay. So I was obedient. It was really a call of obedience over a passion to write. It was just get the story out, and then it proved to be obviously therapeutic. And then the revelation was, okay, oh, that's what this was for. It wasn't about just writing the book. It was about the impact and the transformation.
Wonderful. And I'm going to ask one more person this question, then I'm going to go to the others with a different question. So Rolanda, what made you want to become an author, my dear?
How did I know I was next? Wow, it's funny. I feel like we all have similar stories so far. It's similar to Tamika as well. I actually had a journal as well. When I was in middle school, I was always a poet, so I always like wrote and things like that. So basically, we were in a scholastic competition where we had to basically compete with reciting our poems. So one of my poems won the Scholastic Award. So one of my English teachers gave me this journal to write in. So I wrote poems every single day off and on since 2016. So I said, no, before 2016, sorry. Yeah, so from middle school up until 2020, I had like fulfilled the whole book. So I said, you know what, one day I'm going to publish it. I'm going to publish it. I'm going to tell the world. And then I graduated from college in 2016, and I kept saying I wanted to publish it. And then in 2020, during the pandemic, I prayed about it, and God led me to the right people. And I said, Lord, if this is not for me, then basically take it away, take it out of my mind, take out the thought. And it came to pass. And I said, you know what, I do have a story to tell, and I feel like I can help change other people and be, transparent and let people know, like was said previously, you can overcome, everything that you've been through, and that it is, sunshine on the other side. So yeah, it's been a great journey so far. I just take it day by day.
I love it because you're journaling. I love journaling. I have a journal. I love journal. I have a journal out now. I'll talk about me later. But I love the fact that you're putting what's up here on paper and really looking at it, because then you're able to see your progression and your growth and your healing and your funny moments and your sad moments. I think it's so important to do that, because that's when you can begin to identify certain things and then heal towards that. By a show of hands, how many people's books were birthed during the pandemic? Okay. And that's the purpose of God sitting you still sometimes to kind of get that going. So I want to ask Leroy and then the rest, what about your book would make someone want to buy it? Impactor.
What was that last part?
I said Mr. Impactor.
Oh.
The Impactor.
Well, I think what will resonate with people with this one, be the soul of the community. One is the message that's behind it, because you have these stories of different men coming from all walks of life, talking about a commonality that we all have: one, manhood, but then two, the different messages that each of us have, and the take on who we are as men and the experiences. I've been blown away by the stories the journeys that these men have been on, and reading it. So I think that's what people will resonate with it. And then of course, the I can't breathe aspect of it, and us as Black men talking about who we are as men and what that means to us.
And I'm going to go to the other Black man on the panel. Why should we? Because when you talk about Black hair and you talk about them waves, I mean, I can talk about when I was in school, and I can talk about even when my daughters were in school. That brush and them waves, and you still brushing and you moving your hair like this and still brushing. And back in my day, they was using Dax. And then they had the wave caps on. Then you can see the little mark right here with the wave cap that was too tight. So waves is part of our culture. They'd be like, "Damn, you got more waves than the ocean." Like, waves are a thing. And if you can't get waves as a guy, man, you can't get no waves. That's a thing. So it's very cultural with us. Tell me why you think this is going to resonate with people.
Well, the Wave Bible is not just a hair health book. When it's talking about waves, it's showing you how to get your waves connected, how to how to develop depth, how to get, how to work from your crown, and you can get a spiral. You can make it look like a beehive. You can make it slant sideways, 720, but it's a blueprint on how to get the waves, but it's from Wave Hall of Famers. Like, there's an underground community.
Wow.
And we battle. We have competitions. You can win money. We have campaigns, and there's people on YouTube, and it's a real fun time, a way to get away. It's kind of like if you ever saw Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. After he comes home, he take off his sweater, and then he goes to make-believe land. So that's kind of what the wave pages are, but it's also almost like a Black Wall Street, because they make their own products. It's all about natural hair. It's no kits, there's no cheat code. You have to put in that work with the brush. And it teaches you discipline, it teaches you patience. And I just dove into it. And my wife said, well, I won one campaign. And she said, I said, I'm going to write a book. And she said, off of one campaign. So then I won 2, 3, 4, 5. I ended up winning like 17 wave campaigns. And I kept notes every time. I would just make notes.
Wow.
Love it. It's almost like Karate Kid with Mr. Miyagi. And it's almost like you're
patience.
Teaching, right? But you're also teaching through something that you think is simple. And you're really, it takes patience. It takes perseverance. It takes consistency.
Right.
So that's so dope when I think about that, really. And I love the fact that you use something that you love to create, a product, a project, revenue. I think that's so awesome. So you said campaigns. What kind of campaigns did you win?
Well, some campaigns are 30 days, some are 90 days.
So it's to see how you can get your waves within a certain length of time?
No, you're teaching people how to wave, how to break forks, how to make the waves line up so that there's no break, so that they don't touch. And one wave can come from your crown through your shoreline without touching any other waves. And you just give tips, hair health, insight, and you talk about the different brushes, the bristles, the history of it, the different products. You do reviews, and you just share what you know and share your wave journey.
I love it. I love that. So you can never, ever, ever go bald, right?
Well, you can get waves in your beard too. You can
see? A man after my own heart. He was like, I thought this through because I can't mess up my brand. Now that's something I've never seen. Has anybody seen waves in their beard? I've never seen that.
No.
They exist. They exist.
So I guess y'all need to buy this book if you really want to know how to do it, right? All right, Tanya. So tell me how your book is going to impact the reader.
Well, the concept of my book, like everybody else, I was never intending to write a book, but God spoke to me and told me, hey, I've been through so much. I've always been the nurturer. I looked out for everybody else, but I was broken inside. I go out and take care of everybody. When I was in corporate America, and I had an opportunity to witness a lot of people dealing with so much abuse in the workforce, but still had to manage their everyday lives. And they didn't even realize that, guess what? I was able to be functional in corporate America as a corporate training supervisor and be able to help them, but I would come home and I was broken. So what I decided to do, since I had an opportunity to witness so many people in other territories where their leadership mistreated them, right? They did not give them the training or the service that they needed. And I wanted them to read this book and take away from this book. Customer service don't start when you enter the door at your place of employment. Customer service is when you start healing and helping yourself. So I wrote this so that companies and organizations and leaders and also the people in their workplace can understand how you feel is how you're going to show up every day. When you walk into that place of employment, if you are broken, you're bringing that broken spirit into the office. And when you're walking in there with a leader or a supervisor that is not doing what they're supposed to be doing as a leader, that means they're not serving effectively. You're constantly tearing people down. So I wanted to create a workbook that would service the companies, but also service the employees so they can find themselves in whatever they're doing so that they can position people where they need to be so they can be successful. So that's my purpose of writing that book.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. That's good. That's good. Brenda, I didn't get to you. I'm looking at your cover. So I want to ask what provoked that cover and what is the takeaway from your book?
So in 2019, I actually went through a divorce, ended up getting an ulcerative colitis diagnosis, and just had so much stress going on. I'm by profession, I actually am a program manager for a defense contractor, the largest one in the world. And so I just was going through so much, and I really wanted to just stop and say, what am I learning here? How can I not repeat some of this? And more so, what can I leave for my daughter? I have a 6-year-old daughter, and I just started jotting down and taking notes. It was literally just a bulleted email to her, because since she was young, since she was born, I had a separate email address for her, and I would just send her letters every now and then via email. And so this was just intended to be a bulleted list to her to reflect on. And at the end, last year, I just looked at it and was like, okay, God, is this a book? Okay. And he's like, yeah. And what about your cousins? And what about your nieces and friends? And what about them? What do they need to know? And who do they have to ask? And so one of my cousins actually passed away when my my younger cousins were pretty small. She left behind 3 girls and a boy. And ever since, I just thought, wouldn't they want somebody to ask? Wouldn't they want to go back and ask their mom, hey, I'm falling in love. What should I know, right? Self-care, beauty, mom, my skin's breaking out. What kind of products should I be using? And so with that, I thought, hey, this could be the blueprint. It doesn't have to be followed, step by step, but at least it's a reference guide. Should my daughter ever, get mad at me in her teenage years and not want to come talk to me, at least she can go to, the sex chapter and say, hey, what do I need to know? If I'm too embarrassed to ask a friend who's the same age as her.
Or when she gets over 18, she can look at the panel that Jamie and Leroy are part. I had a why sex is taboo to talk about. So we've talked about that. So maybe you can, when she's 18, you can send her over to this YouTube channel.
Exactly. So this book is actually for teenagers. I would say, things are happening younger and younger nowadays for boys and girls. So, 13, 14 on up, as they're going through their path of womanhood. It's for women who are already of age, right? Already of maturity, and want to go back and really reflect on why we've made some of the decisions we've made, reflect on how we got to where we got to, right? And then maybe consider a different path. So the image there that you see on the book is really how I saw a blueprint of a woman, a Black woman, and kind of that geometric outline of a woman.
I love
it. Love that. Yeah.
I love it because you're writing the letter, like you said, to your daughter, and then I know Hill Harper did letters to a young brother and letters to a young sister. And my daughter got a chance. We went to a book signing of his when he came out with that. And he birthed his off of trying to help people. And it sounds like a lot of you are really trying to pass on what you've learned, what you've grown through, not gone through, what you've grown through, to share that. And I didn't do Sabrina and Dr. Monica, right? You're the two left, right?
Yes.
And Alicia, right? I just wanted to make sure. Alicia, your block moved, so I was looking over there like, where she go? But I want to go to Dr. Monica, and as I look at that image behind you, can I call you Dr. Monica?
Absolutely.
Okay. Tell us about, because when I'm thinking just wounds, and as a life coach, I try to help people with their wounds, and that's my message, to try to make sure people are okay, because we all have wounds. So tell me what provoked you to write this book.
Well, first of all, I didn't decide to write this book. The book decided to write me, so to speak. January 29th of this year, I lost a six-figure contract, my major contract. Prior to that, I believe God told me to pay off every single bill. And I'm like, Lord, are you sure? I did. 2 days later, information just started to flow. I wrote this book in 7 days. Life hurts. Your family betrays you. Children betray you. The pew and the pulpit betray you. And what do you do with those things? A lot of people lose their lives behind those things. A lot of people sit silent. They feel like they're alone. They feel like nobody can understand. They're the only ones that's going through it. They can't speak about it. it's disrespectful to speak about certain things because we were raised in the church to do certain things and pretend like everything's peachy keen when it's not. So what do you do with that? Who can you talk to? Where do you go? A lot of people just have nowhere to turn. So I believe that I was instructed to write this book for those that's been wounded so that they know they can survive. And every single wound, there's wisdom in it. There is something to get out of every single wound. And so as you go through things, we have this fairy tale thing about how life is supposed to be, how we're supposed to excel. We do A, B, C, D, and life is supposed to turn out the way we were taught. It doesn't happen. So I sit here with 7 degrees, wounded, been in a wounded state, but I thank God for the healing. And that healing process has allowed me to write this book. And when I wrote this book, just the comments that come back, the people who approach me, start sharing. And so I watched them heal. And so I look back and say, well, maybe what I've gone through is not as bad. So just to get people, to encourage people to start talking, to just talk it out. I know when I was going through my situation, if somebody asked me how I was doing, I'm going to tell you, stranger and all. It didn't matter. I didn't care if what you thought about me. I needed to make sure that my mental state stayed in a place where I can keep putting one foot in front of the other. And so that's what this book is about. And I am just so grateful that I have been chosen and selected to write this book, and also have the wherewithal and the encouragement and the courage to write it, because it wasn't an easy writing. Like I said, 7 days, and I think this is one of my best books. It's a difficult book, but it's a good book.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm just a firm believer of that. Every wound that we have is for purpose, whether we can see the wounds or whether we just know they're there. And there's a purpose for the emotional wounds. There's a purpose for the physical wounds. When you say wounds, like everybody on here can think about the physical wounds they have, but they can also think about the internal wounds. And the first thing I thought about was, I'm a colon cancer survivor as of March of this year. And I'm thinking about my just physical wound that's going down my stomach like this. And I got a couple of portholes because they had to get the cancer. So when I think about that physical wound, it comes with emotional wounds. It comes with all kind of different wounds. And a lot of people don't understand that. So when you say wound, some people might be like, okay, I fell down and I got stitches, but I remember what happened emotionally when I fell down and got stitches, when I split my eye right here, or when this happened here. That physical wound is often connected to an emotional wound, or that emotional wound, is connected to a spiritual wound or a mental wound. So when I think of wound, that's just, it's powerful. So, so thank you for writing that, everybody. Woo, these are some good books, y'all. If y'all ain't at Amazon right now, then I don't know what's wrong with you. All right, so we're gonna go to Sabrina Smith. And as I look at you, I'm thinking of a story. I don't know, God keeps having me look at you. What is your book about?
So my book, Daddy's Little Secret, it's about something very taboo that isn't really talked about in books or in life. A young teenage girl develops a very deep relationship with her father, and it becomes very twisted.
Like Eve's Bayou, kind of? Like
Eve's Bayou.
Woo, that was tough. That's
so many
tough.
people are involved in this situation, and secrets come out, and a lot of drama happens within it. So I just wanted to make something that I don't read about a lot, and that a lot of people don't want to talk about. And that's why I wanted that to be my first book, because I wanted it to stand out.
Ooh, because I'm telling you already, the title, I've never even opened it, but I'm looking at you like, oh, what is she getting ready to say? Somebody is going to trigger someone. what's going on, and it's going to provoke certain things. Now, some people might be like, that's nasty, that's disgusting, it doesn't happen.
Yep.
But sadly, it does. And it's that little girl's first love or first crush is their dad. And if they're not boundaries set, and they're not really, if the dad is not really responding like a dad, then I can see how that can kind of, so that's a book that's gonna jar some people. And that's a book that's gonna really touch some people. What is the response that you've been getting thus far?
Women are interested, men are not. A lot of men turn away from it as soon as I say it's about a daughter developing a very intimate relationship with her father. So I've gotten some negative comments from men, but women are definitely interested in reading it.
Y'all got some stories in y'all. Woo, woo, woo. All right, Alicia, hello.
Hi.
So tell me, I want to ask you both questions. Why did you decide to write a book, or did it decide to write you? Because that's the trend here. And also, what would make someone say, you know what, I'm trying to buy that book. I want that book.
Okay, so first, I never thought that I would be an author. It's still mind blowing, and this is my fourth book.
I gotta say something from my favorite show, girl. You an authoress. Who knows what I'm talking? Who am I talking? What am I talking about, y'all?
Yes.
What show am I talking about? Y'all don't know?
No, which
Girlfriends. Maya was. She said, "Girl."
Oh, well, Maya,
you
sure did.
She's an authoress. So you never thought you was gonna be an authoress?
No, I never thought I was going to be author. I really did not like writing much, but it's all God. I know it's all God. It first started out, I started my own company. I am an educator. I have my own school, Serenity Alzheimer's and Dementia Training, that I created last year. And my school is an online school. I educate anyone who wants to learn about dementia. Mainly, I'm focused on the caregivers, health professionals. So I create my own courses. And I have a national course that's going to drop early next year where I certify in dementia. And so I just started promoting my business, and I had a few people come to me and they're like, well, I don't learn from online well, because everybody's learning style is different. So they was like, well, are you going to create books? You know, and I was like, I don't write. So they was like, well, I feel I would learn better if I could have a book to read. And so I was like, Lord, I'm gonna have to write books. And I thought about it, I was like if I'm an educator, I have to have different learning styles to present. So I got a pen and paper and I started writing, and I was like, Lord, what am I going to talk about? I know it's on dementia. And he was like, write your experience. Write about what's the problem in the dementia world right now. So I started writing, and I said, well, I got to have chapters. How many chapters am I going to write? So I got to the 4th chapter, and he was like 7, and 7 stuck out. And I was kind of like, why 7? And like, he told me why 7. And so I started writing, and I was like, okay, I got a book. So I created my PDF file, got it all together. And he was like, promote it before you put it in the stores. So I promoted it on my Facebook business page, and I had people that just was my friend on Facebook, not my real friend. Like I had like a whole bunch of them. Do you have the PDF file? So I put it together where it would be locked, you know, where nothing was stolen. And it was like, I want to buy the PDF file, make it an ebook. So I made it an ebook first through Facebook, and I got sales like that, got reviews on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And then from there, I just started writing books. And then I ended up with a 4th book. All of them sold through a PDF file before it got in the stores. And so I'm an author.
Wow, can we talk about the obedience to God? Like, y'all listening. Like, what? I mean, you know, it's so funny because to be a part of this panel, I mean, hundreds of people wanted to be a part of it, and clearly it can't do 100. So no one would get the shine that they needed, so I had to break it up. But God knew what he was doing with this group right here, because everybody is saying the same thing. the obedience to writing the book, the God nudging you and waking you up and showing you visions and saying, this is what it is. And I totally get that too, because God talks to me in that way. So to have a panel with everyone's like, I ain't want to do it. This book wrote itself, you know. I was like, me and God was like, what? You want to do it? No, what? I got to do what? You know, you having full conversations and debates. But ultimately, look at God, he won just like he always does. Just like he always does. So I see the Francine, we lost her, but she's trying to come back in.
You muted yourself, Kendell. Yeah, Kendell, you're muted.
Yeah, that happens. I was trying to let her in, but she can't. Like she just keeps spinning. So I'm sorry, Francine. You're welcome to still come. I have it open for you to come. That's the one that was on the phone with us. All right. So let me see. Let me look through some of the comments. So everybody's just like, it's amazing, beautiful books. Yes, Melanin, Texas in the house. Beautiful, beautiful Serena. Everybody saying hello to everybody. Congratulations. Hello, good evening. Awesome. Great authors. So proud of all of you all. Love it. God bless. Legacy is awesome. Yes, Leroy. Awesome, Brett. We're getting a lot of everybody's that way. The Wade Bible, I see you putting that up there. So valuable today because many people are self-serving. We need this. So many people broken. And then this is to Tanya. Thank you, Tanya. Looking forward to reading your book. Support is needed. We need each other. Great books. Brenda, and then we have the book will give you power. Wounds are not forever. Yes, it is. It's a season of obedience, pandemic. God has a different name. That's from Support Begin Support. So it's quite a few people on here and commenting. So if you all have questions and comments, if you want to ask me or any of the authors questions, we'll do that towards the end of the show. So we'll go for maybe another 15 minutes. You all good with that?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So Fran Cher, why do you think that so many people say they have a book in them, but they never write it?
Fear. Fear is a strong emotion that will halt a lot of your dreams if you allow it. I didn't want to tell my story. I woke up from a dream and literally wrote it down and then typed it up into Kindle and published it. That was how strong I knew that fear was gonna halt it. Like if I didn't just go ahead and just put it out there, I wouldn't have done it because the story is so personal. And you know, it's a story I don't tell many people, and so now I'm telling the whole world. So it's really a thing of just stepping beyond any emotion that you feel and really just going head on expressing yourself.
Yeah. Jamie, how freeing was it to write your book?
Very, very freeing. And I agree that fear will halt your purpose if you let it. And for me, it was definitely outside of the obedience. Even when once I started the process, it was like, get out of your way, like just getting out of my head, the overthinking and the perfectionism and all that. So it was very liberating to be able to get it all out. And the fact that like a few of us have said, right, oh, this was personal, but now the whole world's going to know. Realizing that, and that was part of that therapeutic process I spoke on earlier, it's not about me. This is so much bigger than me. My story is not for me, just for me. Yes, I learned the lessons and went through it, but it's so much more about who needs to hear it, because we're not alone. We don't go through it alone, and people need to know that.
Yes, excellent. That's so true. And and when you write your words and it's personal, and maybe in a journal, and then you make a book out of it, and now it's not your personal journal. The whole world sees that. but there has to be something liberating and free in that. And I always say, you take the bullets out the gun. When you tell your own story, nobody can shoot you with your own story. You take the bullets out. So whatever someone knows about you, listen, you can go to chapter 3. It's already there. You know what I mean? So it has to be, was it liberating and freeing for everyone on here who decided to tell their own story?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Free. Yes. So I want to ask Tamika and Leroy, and either one can go first. Were there any barriers to writing this book? Were there any roadblocks like, I don't know, when you wrote this book?
Go ahead, Tamika.
Thanks, Leroy. That's really a good question. I would say one of two. I would say the first barrier was myself. And so a lot of times, as Jamie stated, being in your head, I was in my head a lot through this process because the licensed and ordained minister is about to share about some experiences that she's never talked about all of these years. She's about to expose pieces and parts of her that was that would expose a level of vulnerability that I wanted to keep to myself. And through writing it, it helped me to understand that those experiences were in our ministry because it allowed those who, like Jamie, and I'm grateful, did not have a goal of bestseller and all of that stuff. And the book was a #1 bestseller within the first 30 days of its release. And those who have purchased it have spoken reviews, but also contacted me personally. In The Unspoken Wounds, I talk about having sex for the first time at 18 years old, a freshman in college, unconsented sex, rape, let's call it what it is, and got pregnant and had an abortion. I talk about the abandonment of a father that left me with abandonment trauma and rejection. I talk about a very rough, the darkest place and space of a divorce that had me experiencing suicide ideation and attempts, not just the ideation, but actually attempting to take my life, all while I am a licensed ordained preacher. And so a barrier of self, but also a barrier when I talked about the rape and abortion of having to have a conversation with my mother who never knew about it. So I needed to get past that and have a conversation with her before I put pen to paper and release it to the world. And so I'm grateful for that conversation because it did not go the way I thought it would go. She warmly embraced me. I had a sit down on MLK Day 2020 with her and my sister. And my sister and I are 18 years apart. And that's where I shared the story. I said, I need to tell you all what this book is about. And that was liberating. So sometimes what we see as a barrier.
Someone say healing looks good on you, Tamika.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. That's all God. Thank you. Yeah. So one, our barriers can be ourselves. And then two, what we perceive others will say or even think can stand in the way.
How many people feel like they've been a barrier in some sort of success or completing any kind of project by the show of hands?
Definitely been in my way.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get in your own way often. So I'm glad that you got out of your own way. And I love the fact that you're an ordained pastor, because we have to stop idolizing people. We have to stop putting these crowns on people. Yes, we all are kings and queens. We wear crowns, but the crown, we have to stop doing that, because you don't allow people who pastors are to be vulnerable and to be able to be real. I'm gonna tell you right now, we say, I don't want to ever attend a church with a pastor who ain't been through nothing. or who has not had a past. That's not who I want. I don't want the perfect preacher or pastor saying that you're going to go to hell for all that you've done and he's hiding his or she's hiding hers in the closet. So I appreciate a flawed pastor because we have to know if you're leading a flock per se, then people have to know the realest, the gutteriest, the grimiest stuff about you, because then they receive it. Because 9 times out of 10, all the sick people in church, and sick meaning, you know, it's a place of healing, they can connect to you more. And that is your purpose, to have gone through all of that, to be a pastor. But I understand the other side where people idolize people of God and they don't give room to be human. And you then have to wear the mask on top of the COVID mask, because now you have to walk and pretend that you're someone else and you're suffocating and dying inside. And then now this is freeing, like, hey, it is what it is. Like I said, turn to chapter 26 or whatever it is. Leave me alone with that. Read the book. You get what I'm saying? Because then you free yourself. So I think that that's awesome that you're a pastor. And I love that you're a pastor and have been through that and was bold enough, you know, to share your story. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Just like I've been a life coach for 20 something years and people think my life is perfect. What? You don't want no life coach. I got all of the degrees and I got all the certifications and I got all the background, but my experience in life as a 50-year-old woman is going to help you with that. Because I can have all of that and never been through nothing.
Yeah.
So I coach from an honest, open, real place. You get what I'm saying? So when people like, whoa, what? You got issues? Yeah, it's called life. We all got We all got anything coaches me. You get what I'm saying? When I'm coaching you, I'm coaching me. And I think we have to stop putting these capes on people and allow people to be. Yes, you have experience in, you know, in education in these, but you are not the only. You get what I'm saying? That's not it. You're a woman first or a man first, and you've been through some things.
Absolutely.
And that's the kind of people that can help someone else be down. Now, if you've never been through this, could you help somebody? Yes, but it's a different kind of journey when you walk with them, when you walk the same footsteps.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. So Leroy, what are some of the barriers that you had any when you were writing this book?
Well, my portion of the book, my chapter that I wrote on, I didn't necessarily have any barriers, but you know me, when I'm talking about something, the title of my chapter is What's Next, and what I dealt with. What's next? Okay, I wanted to hear you. And where that stemmed from was Dr. King's book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community, in dealing with our issues that we have with the family, with government, with education, with business and the church. So when you talk about those dynamics, you know, it's not always a pretty picture, because you're telling the truth, and you want people to understand not only where we are, but what we need to do, where we need to go, and how we need to get there. So talking about police brutality, of course, a lot of folks don't want to hear that, you know, people don't want to hear about our educational system needing to be just totally broken down and revamped. And so when you talk about those things, it can be unpopular. So that I didn't have any brains talking about it, because I'm passionate about it, because of where I want us to go as a people and as a community. But I also know, in talking about those things, that it can be, you can get backlash and get people that want to say, you know, oh, well, you know, let's just move on, and, you know, we don't have to deal with this and that and the other and everything like that. So that was the only thing. Like I said, I enjoyed writing it because of where I was coming from and what I wanted to do and wanting to see us do better and be better. So I let the chips fall where they may.
I love that, because a lot of people be like, I don't want to hear about that. But it's like, if everybody says they don't want to hear about it, how are we going to come up with a solution?
Right.
And to hear Black men talk, I think it's so needed and necessary. And to like even that cover, move your head, Leroy, is so powerful. Like it's just so powerful. That image alone, that can provoke conversation. Like, hey, well, what is this book? You know, I think that's powerful. So Francine is back. So I didn't get a chance to ask you. So tell me what. I was keeping hope alive like Jesse Jackson. I was like, he's coming back.
It went out. I was trying, but it went out on me. But I got the internet now, so yeah.
Well, it takes perseverance to write a book, so clearly you have perseverance because you kept trying to get back on. So tell me why people should purchase your book, and did you have any concerns before writing your book?
My self-care guide, I wrote the book because I was thinking maybe that may be one of my problems why I got sick with lupus in the first place. Maybe I need to look at my self-care plan or whatever. So I made the guide to help people who may be struggling with that in mind, different parts of self-care. That's what I thought about. And most of my books was targeted towards people who deal with lupus. But when I got this book, I actually started getting people outside of just being a lupus warrior. So it was more like not just like a niche, like focus just for lupus warriors. Other people who, you know, had problems with self-care wanted to get this book as well, or just wanted to look at, you know, okay, what's this guy, what is this plan about?
I think that's awesome because we all, you know, can use self-care. You know, it's funny because now it's in everyday language. And it used to be in everyday language. When I was talking about self-care 20 years ago, people were like, what the heck is that? How I'm gonna do this and take care of these kids? How I'm gonna do this and go to work? How I'm gonna do this and go to school? What about? And it's like, and then you started hearing saying water and pour from an empty cup. You can't do this. And then people are like, what? I'm like, self-care is sometimes sitting in the closet by yourself and closing the door. And breathing and meditating and writing or just standing outside looking at the sky, whatever you need to do. Self-care is not about money. It's about knowing yourself and knowing your body like, something is off. Let me go and try to figure this out. Now, if you want to go spend the money on a massage, get your feet rubbed, you know, go and get your, you know, go buy your little watch, whatever you want to buy. It's what self-care is to you, what makes you happy and what are you doing for yourself. So then you are a happier employee. So then you are like Tanya was saying, like when you go to work, like you are a happier employee, you're a happier spouse, you're a happier family member when you're taking care of you. And I often say people ain't walking around here angry. People ain't angry. Anger is a secondary emotion. People are walking around sad and unfulfilled, and they don't know how to put themselves first, and even if they're even worthy of putting themselves first, especially Black women, especially, you know, everybody running in the ground, you know, you are running the ground, but everybody else is shiny and new around you, but you all beat down because you taking care of everybody else and you forgot about you. You know, forget them kids sometimes. Think about you. It's not selfish because a happy mama and a whole mama is a better mama for those kids.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying you walk around looking shiny and new and your kids look like ragamuffins. I'm not saying that because that gets on my nerves. Make sure they're clean and bathed and fed and you take care of you. When you go to the store and you buy you an outfit, buy your kids outfit, buy you one too. And I had to learn, I learned that my kids are in my 20s. In their 20s, I would buy them stuff and not buy me nothing. And I remember the first time I went and actually bought me something, they didn't get nothing. And that's when you really have to do that. You have to start taking care of yourself. So self-care, Francine, is across the board. That's why you saw it, because people are trying to figure out, how do I do that? If you have a guide to self-care, well, that's easy. It's a guide to self-care. Let me figure this thing out. You know, so I think it's so amazing that everybody is using their stories or something passionate and close to you. Brett, and we're going to wind down. So Brett, what has been the feedback about this here wave Bible?
It's been some great feedback. A lot of good feedback. People have been asking about it. It's starting to leak over into other things. Like my brother does cars, and there's a lot of waivers, because with waving, you can be a man, a female. There's no.
Let me just pause you for a minute.
Okay.
This thing is deep, ain't it?
Waiver.
Y'all, do y'all hear the language? This thing is deep. I had to come on in. I had to reach around and come on in and find out what you said. You said, but you saying it like we're all like waiver, but you're using the lingo like you are serious. Like if you could see your face, you like serious about this thing.
Yes.
So deep. Go ahead, continue. I just wanted to know if everybody else was amazed when he was like, because you have the waivers. I was like,
no, like let me show you. I'm gonna just show you some of the pages, but it's like we break down the science of it, man. I can't even show y'all the drawings.
Wait a minute. If you ain't passionate about your book like Brett, I ain't buying your book. If you ain't passionate like Brett, I ain't buying your book.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, your background is messing it up. It's going out like.
Come a little closer.
We see it. I see it.
Okay.
There you go.
Now that's the circular motion wave-a-thon. What is that?
Yeah, well, that's a spiral. That's called a 540. Like the 360s look like beehives. The 540 have a slant top and a swirl. The 720s are all vertical. But I'm telling you, it's an underground community. But there's waivers in the NBA. There's doctors waivers. There's children waivers. There's waivers in high school.
When you say waivers, I want to make sure I'm clear. So when you say waivers, is this a club, an elite club, or just people who have waves are called waivers?
Okay, well, it's a difference. There's people with waves.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
People, break it on down.
All right, there's people with waves, and then there are waivers. Like waivers, like we the NBA of the waivers, that the non-waivers, so to speak.
I bet y'all ain't know y'all was gonna get all this knowledge today.
We really playing on a high level, but the book, if you're just a casual fan and you're like, hey, I want to brush my hair, I want it to look nice, you can get waves. You can, just be a person with waves. But when you're a waiver, like you're doing live streams, you're teaching how to do it. And it's really a way for, I'm telling you, like, it doesn't matter your ethnicity or how you say it. If you're black, you're white, you're brown, you're green. If you got hair on your face, your beard, you can get waves. If you're a male or a female, it doesn't matter your hair texture, if it's long, it's straight, if you're white so it's a really close-knit community, but we are trying to make it more mainstream. And I just really enjoyed it. I've been waving for like 30 years, but to put it into a book and to share it with people, I'm just so excited about it. So I'm glad I got this opportunity. And I made 4 different versions. So yeah, waivers for life, baby. Let's go.
I bet none of y'all knew what a waiver was before this show.
No.
Well, Brad, I'm gonna get your book.
My sons went
on YouTube.
My sons are into it, but they ain't in the wave BA.
Yeah.
He got a waveology degree.
Right.
But you know what? It's so funny because it really is a part of our culture. Like I said, I remember in the 80s, and then you come up to now, people are still serious about their waves. Like you cannot find a waiver without a brush with them or a do-rag or something. Right. They have it. They know what kind of essential oils, they know what kind of pomades or whatever. Like it's a science to it. And I remember, I can think of the guys right now. I told you I'm 50 years old. I can think of the guys right now in the 7th grade who had the BALM waves.
Yep.
I can think. I remember. So they're serious about that.
Touch their hair.
Right. It's like it's so funny, and I love the fact that, and I'm glad that we have the diversity that we do because. Use what you know to make it into a book. Use what you know. We got customer service. We got talking about, we got waves. We got Black men. We're talking about wounds. We're talking about healing. Just everything. Trying to find that peace, telling our stories. There is something for everyone. If everyone watching this bought everybody's book on here, you will be thoroughly entertained. You will you won't be reading the same story twice.
Right.
You won't. You will have it. You know, you take that book. I don't know if you all love the books in hand. It's still something about, even though I got my iPad, I got digital content in books. There's something about having the choice to kind of have it with that. So I wanted again to just bring these authors on. We're going to do something totally different. I'm working on a book event, which will be a virtual book fair and reading to delve more into the author's book so they get to read it. I don't know if you all out there ever been to a book signing or a book reading. You know, I love them, whether it was Terry McMillan or Kimberly Lawson Roby or someone's autobiography, like I was there, my own, and just reading and letting them read and tell their own story. So that's an event that I'm working on, and you all can actually come and just make sure you follow me so I can keep you posted, and you meaning the viewer. And then that way you'll hear more about the books and the authors there. But Francine, I just want to go through, let me see who's shown on here. So I see you first, but I'm gonna look on the actual panel. So it's Brett who is first. What do you want to give me that one sentence? I'm gonna go through everybody, that one sentence that will make somebody want to buy your book, that small elevator pitch on your book. Brett.
All right. If you want to take your hair and your wave pattern to Olympian heights, copper wave Bible.
Come on now, Brett. Come on now. All right, Tamika, you're next.
The unspoken wound is an unattended wound. An unattended wound is an unhealed wound. You deserve to heal, to be whole, and to be made well.
Brenda.
For me, the Blueprint Project is basically stands for everybody needs somebody. Give this book to somebody you know that needs that guidance, that wants to heal and rediscover themselves.
Franchère.
Absolutely. Mommy and Daddy, Do You Still Love Me Anymore is the sweet story for children who are adopted or in foster care, just to give them hope and really love, to encourage them about their biological parents and just remind them how much they're loved, cared for.
All right, now I have that's excellent. I mean, these titles, man, if they don't make you want to buy these books, Mommy and Daddy, Do You Still Love Me? Whew. All right. So Serena, your elevator pitch, one sentence.
Daddy's Little Secret. If you want to read something real, this book is the deal.
If you want to read something real, this book is the deal. Okay. I want to ask you, but is this based off of a true story, or is this, is this a novel?
It's fiction.
Okay. Fiction. I wanted people to know. Okay. All right, Leroy Mackenzie Jr., what is your elevator pitch? That one sentence.
Black men, Black voices, Black journeys. The Soul of Man 3, I Can't Read.
Dang, you got a lot of single women like, that's the only man I'm gonna get. I'm gonna take that book right now. Give me 3 copies so I can find out what's going on with the Black men. That way I can relate to the Black men. I'm telling you, just like you had the women show up at the Million Man March, they gonna buy the book. All right, so Tanya, that one sentence, that elevator speech, please.
In order for you to be able to properly service other people, you first got to understand how to properly serve yourself.
Dr. Monica.
You've been wounded. Don't wallow in it. Trust your gut and your instinct.
Yes.
And guard your peace at all costs. There is hope and there is healing after every wound.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Yes, Lord. All right, Rolanda, you are up next. What is your elevator pitch?
Purposeful growth is a journey of growth that is obviously on purpose, and that readers will be cultivated and positively changed.
Yes. All right, Jamie, what is your pitch, my dear?
My piece of happy, a self-love journey to happiness, purpose, and lifestyle success. And it is to let women know that they should and are required. It's a standard for loving yourself enough to know that you are enough, equipped, and empowered for purpose.
Alicia, awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Woo.
Memories of surviving, gifting you with inspirational quotes and poems that will take you on an inspirational journey through your dementia experience.
All right, last but not least, Francine.
Self-care should be a priority. The Bible says that you should love your neighbor as yourself, but it's hard to love your neighbor as yourself if you taking care of yourself.
Woo!
Yes.
Let me tell y'all, I asked you to do that because I told you I coach authors and new authors and even some experienced authors. I coach authors. And if you're stuck in the elevator with someone and you're trying to promote your book and you ain't got time to be like, well, when I was 5, let me tell you what happened in this. They'd be like, my floor, and they out the door. You ain't even, that's a sale right there. And you like trying to get yourself together. That elevator pitch is something quick, and make sure you guys, I'm sorry, I'm a coach. I want you guys to do that for homework. I want you to really make sure it's not long-winded. Make sure it's direct and it's impactful. So that's what I want you all to do, is to just write your sentence, one sentence. Because if you're going from floor 3 to 4, you don't have time to fumble. You need to say what it is instantly. So y'all gonna do your homework?
Yes.
Make sure you have that. I'm telling you, because sometimes that's all it is, and that's what you need. And if you can't figure out the words to sell your book, then nobody's gonna buy it. If you're the one that wrote it, if you can't figure out how to sum it up, then how's someone else going to figure that? Because if someone else is going to recommend your book, they're going to need something short and sweet. And if yours is memorable, they're going to use the same pitch you have to tell their friends and families about your books. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, so quickly, I'm just going to go through everybody, and I want you to hold up your book, tell them where they can buy your book, and how they can get in touch with you. We're going to do this quickly, starting with Brett.
All right, we got limited. Oh man, you can't barely see it. Okay, so we got the hardbacks, glossy covers, and paperbacks available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Excellent. All right, Tamika.
From Trauma to Triumph, Healing the Unspoken Wounds, paperback as well as hardback. You can go to From Trauma to Triumph, thebook.com, From Trauma to Triumph, thebook.com, also available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and you can reach me on all social media platforms at Tamika Shalon.
Excellent. Brenda, go.
The Blueprint Project, an advice and self-discovery journal for melanin girls on the path to womanhood, is available at my website, aurorapublishingandmedia.com, also at the same on all social media platforms.
Excellent. Share.
Mommy and Daddy, do you still love me anymore? And you can buy the book on Amazon, Kindle and paperback version, or on that website on my it's bit.ly, bit, bit.ly/Frenchy books.
All right, Sabrina.
Daddy's Little Secret. You can buy it on Amazon paperback. You can reach me at queenserena89@gmail.com.
Don't tell me 89 when you were born.
Yes, it is.
That's when I graduated from high school. Leroy.
Well, I don't have the physical copy because we're doing pre-orders now. The book launches November 16th. So you can pre-order it now on Amazon. Soul of a Man 3. I Can't Breathe, if you put that in. And I'll also put it in the comments too once we're finished here. I'll put it in the comments there too, the direct link for folks. You can connect with me also through my website, www.jnfenterprises, as well as social media at JNF Enterprises, pretty much everything except for Instagram. It's What's Up Baltimore Magazine. Thank you.
All right, Tanya.
Customer Service and You, Does Your Service Suck? Is presently on Amazon in ebook format as well as paperback format, the glossy kind. And you can contact me through all social media outlets.
Doesn't she have a customer service voice, y'all?
She does, yes.
Dr.
Yes.
Monica.
Wounds of Wisdom, the book, and Wounds of Wisdom, the workbook journal. You can purchase it on my website, drmonicajackson.com, as well as on Amazon. And you can reach me via email at woundsofwisdom2021@gmail.com.
Wonderful. All right, Jamie.
My Piece of Happy, a self-love journey to happiness, purpose, and lifestyle success. It is paperback and ebook on Amazon, or you can get a signed copy, mypieceofhappy.com/order. And that is PEACE, peace.
All right, Jamie. Alicia.
Memories of Surviving, inspirational quotes and poems with 30-day journal. You can get it on Amazon, or you can go to my Facebook business page, Serenity, Alzheimer's and Dementia, and my business website is also listed there.
All right, Francine.
The Self-Care Guide, Everyday Heroes, is on Amazon, and it's also a Kindle, or you can also get it at www.francinehouston.com.
All right, I saved Rolanda for last because we were chatting back and forth for the last week on Facebook, and she wasn't going to do it because her book won't be here till tomorrow. I was like, girl, you better get a printout, do something. You're going to do this panel. We're not going to pass up this opportunity. She was like, but it's not here. Get a piece of paper. She said, I'm going to be hood on there. I was like, no, you ain't. Get a piece of paper. Tell what your book look like. That's right. I put it all out there because I was like, we ain't passing up this opportunity. You better print it out. Come on.
Purposeful Growth. It's behind me as well. Can be purchased on Amazon and Barnes & Noble online. Also, I can be reached on Instagram at _poems and poise. It'll be in my bio. And I'm on Facebook, Diamond St. Felix. It's in my bio. As well, I have physical copies. My email is rstfelix@gmail.com. I do mail outs. Listen, I'm ready.
All right. Now, I wasn't going to pull mine out, but I was like, shoot, I'm trying to sell some too.
Okay.
But, it's I just have my copy of it here. So, but it's on Amazon.com. It's My Personal Journey of Peace is my latest book, My Personal Journey of Peace, a 30-day guided journal and workbook. So if you want to claim or reclaim your peace in this chaotic world, this is a thick workbook because I'm a life coach. I make you do the self-work. So it's important that you do your work. So this is my personal journey of peace. It comes with a workshop as well when you purchase the book. But it's several chapters on here. It's thick, it's big. You remember the old school notebooks where you sit it down like this and you do that and you get to work. It'll make you think, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you reach back because everybody wants that ultimate peace, right?
Yeah.
And this is a great way for you to reclaim your peace.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're a perfect person, then this is not the book for you. But if you're someone that's on a constant journey in life, then you need to get this workbook, My Personal Journey of Peace by Kendell Lenice. It's available on Amazon.com. And Jamie, thank you. Jamie just purchased it. Thank you so much, Jamie, for that.
Yes, my pleasure.
Have you cracked it open yet?
I cracked it open. I looked through. I have not written in it yet, though.
Okay, good. So how I lay it out is, each
I like the layout.
Thank you. How I laid it out. So each chapter, I'll give an assignment. So for instance, 1, to get you your peace. I just randomly went to chapter 13. The assignment is clean house, declutter. Then I define what declutter is. And then I break it down and I give you the benefits of that. It reduces anxiety, it reduces tension, more energy, exercises your body, empowers decision-making skills, improves health, creates a sense of calm and peace, burns calories, increases endorphins in your brain, improves your mood, allows you to minimize, find lost treasures, increase happiness, become more appreciative, find lost item, promotes charitable contributions, more cash, you sell your items. And then I have different questions like the last time I decluttered my home was, my things make me feel safe because the worst thing that could happen if I get rid of my stuff is, you get what I'm saying? So through each chapter, it's going to make you think about it, because how can you have peace if you got clutter all around you? And then usually the clutter around you is because it's the clutter in you.
That's good.
Thank you.
That was a word.
Amen. But I'm so happy that, you know, God is just awesome, because, you know, this was the right group. I didn't base it on anything. You know, I got a lot of inquiries, and like I said, I couldn't do everybody at once, but I think this is an awesome group. What y'all think? What do you think about
Awesome. Definitely. Definitely.
And thank you so much for putting this on, Kendell. We really
Thank you.
You're so
excellent
welcome.
Job.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And just look at your fellow Black authors. Just look at each other for a moment and just really take this in. You know, this is more, it was more than just a thought or a notion. Like, you actually wrote the darn book.
Right.
And you actually published the book. And now people, the world gets to hear what's in your heart.
Yes.
Yes.
It don't get no better than that.
Right. You absolutely
right. Yes. I thank you. And everybody, thank you so much for commenting. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. You know, I'm going to have another group of authors back, but I guarantee you're going to see these authors in the book signing, I'm sure, and the book reading. But definitely, I want you to, and I know money is funny for a lot of people. So if you got to buy one book a month, if you can buy 2 books a month, you know, if you got to get the e-version, because you can't, you know, I know how it is. So I would never tell anybody, just buy everybody's book. But the ones that resonated with you, start with those and then work your way down, because I'm sure they're not going to not sell the book to you 3 months from now. Like, you still want the book, you get the book. And you never know. But I thank you all so much for taking the time out to be a part of this panel. And if this was any way that I can help you sell an extra book or 2, then, you know, that was the purpose.
Can I say something real quick?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I wanted to make sure, now I want to ask real quick, because this is the part of it also, is so you can be prepared to be interviewed. You can be prepared to talk about your book. Is this anyone's first time being interviewed for their book? Awesome. Awesome.
Can I say something?
Awesome. Yes.
For those that are in your chat that are watching the YouTube channel, every single one of these books makes a great Christmas gift. The holidays is coming up. It will make
you absolutely right, Leroy.
But that's why I'm doing the other thing in December too. So I got you. Yes, we on the same page.
So for those who are watching, go to the websites, to Amazon, grab one of these books for a gift for someone for Christmas. I promise you, they'll love you for it.
Yeah. I always say buy one for yourself and gift another.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Kendell Lenice Live. You're welcome. You're welcome. Make sure you all follow me so I can see what's going on with y'all. So I can see.
Will all the authors' info be in the comments of this so that we can connect with each other?
Yeah, once we get off, this is a live show, so we're gonna get off because we don't want anybody like this that can't see trying to type this
email.
So we'll handle that later.
Okay, thank you.
Right. We just gotta hang up from the people, y'all. We gotta hang up from the people. All right, but thank you everybody for watching Kendell Lenice Live. Thank you for continuously coming back to this channel, because it's all about education, elevation, and entertainment. And as you always know, I'm about changing the narrative when it comes to Black people, showing us in a different light, whether it's a personal interview, whether it's an interview with a celebrity, whether it's another panel. That's always my main objective. In every show that I do, it's my, God implores me to mention his name, and his name was mentioned quite often in this one. So I've done my job, and everybody has to be of service to someone. And hopefully I was that for everybody. But thank you everybody for watching. Good night.
Thank you. Good
I'll stay
night.
right there.
Thank you. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
See y'all.